Good morning, afternoon, evening, depending where you are when you are watching this. Welcome to the BSI Sustainable Palm Oil Program, where today we will talk about 2024, a year in review, and also 2025 outlook for the palm oil industry in Malaysia. This is a pre-recorded webinar. It is important for us to share with you before we go off for the festive holidays and start 2025. So we have seen some incredible things happen in the palm oil sector. With me today, I have Amiro and Faiza, two of the palm oil leads in the sustainability team in BSI Malaysia. Both of them will share some insights and some of the interesting stories in leading the program for the team. Maybe I'll start with Amiro. Uh, Amiro, can you please tell us more about yourself?
Hello, for those who's watching, my name is Amirul. I am the RSPO program lead for BSI Malaysia. I've been working in the space of palm oil industry for the last 14 years, and I've been an RSP auditor for the last 6 years. Day to day, I am the one who monitors, interprets, guides, and technical reviewers in the RSPO space for the team. From time to time, I do go conduct audits with the team. My interest is in the space of social and health and safety audits.
Thank you, Amiro. How about you, Faiza? Can you tell us a bit more about yourself?
Right. Hi, today I'm honored to speak about Malaysian Sustainable Palm Oil, especially for MS 2530-2022, a significant milestone in our journey towards sustainable palm oil production. My name is Faiza, Nur Faiza binti Azizan, program lead for MSPO BSI Malaysia for 6 years currently, and previously qualified with MSPO auditor, SA 8000, 9000, 14,000, and also qualified trainer, and been working for almost 10 years in sustainability in oil palm growers.
So, cool. Basically, we're talking to the right person today, and maybe I'll start it off with Faiza. What do you think 2024 has been for BSI Malaysia so far?
Okay. BSI Malaysia has made significant strides for Malaysia's sustainability palm oil certification. And first is a comprehensive assessment. We already conducted a very thorough assessment for initial audits, annual surveillance audit, recertification audit, and these assessments to ensure that everybody is compliant to the standards. And next is the accreditation and recognition. So we also got the recognition from the DSM, Department of Standard Malaysia, which underscore the credibility and capability in conducting MSPO certification. And then support for sustainability practices, where certification various entity, including large plantation and small plantation, will help promote sustainability and responsibility palm oil production practices, and also in detail reporting. From our reporting perspective, we also very transparent in our report, and we also uh, do the detailed insight into the certification process, including the audit result, non-compliance, and opportunity for improvement for our client. And this effort also contribute to the significant sustainability and resilience of Malaysia palm oil industry.
All right. Thanks for that. That's quite an update. How about RSPO? Anything you'd like to share with us?
Right. So for BSI Malaysia, for RSPO this year, 2024, for the first half of the year, we are looking for the public consultation of the new standards, giving out the inputs, very significant to the latest RSPO PNC ISA standard revision. Nevertheless, our team becomes stronger and reliable in the market. Our composition of the experienced auditor with new faces in the industry make our team more dynamic. And then compliance assessment conducted by ASI, the accreditation body for RSPO, in April 2024. The results shows that our team interpretation of the standard are well versed regardless of country. Malaysia, in Africa, we have a same interpretation of the standard. And new clients sign with us, which I will elaborate more after this.
Maybe I go back to you, Faiza, in terms of challenges that the team is facing, or from your observation in managing the MSPO program. What would be your key challenges for 2024?
Yes, as a CB, we're also facing a lot of challenges in managing this scheme. First is understanding implementation, where many of the organization, especially without existing management system like 40,000, 14,000, 45,000, and also SA 8,000 implementation. So they are struggle to understand and implement the MSPO standards. And then is for accreditation process. We also have to go through the rigorous audit accreditation process by Department Standard Malaysia, and the process to ensure that CB can conduct the audit and issue certificate to meet the MSPO requirement. And also consistency of compliance to ensure the consistency compliant with MSPO standard throughout various entity, from smallholder, from oil palm grower, and the big plantation, including smallholder, large plantation, and small plantation is very challenging. It's quite continue. This is require continuous monitoring and support. And then stakeholder engagement. The effective engagement with all stakeholders, including government agency, NGOs, and industry players, are crucial to successful implementation of MSPO standard. And also the resource allocation. This is very much challenging for SCB to get a very competent auditor to conduct the audit, and the requirement is quite high. To get the auditor and maintain auditor is not an easy. So these challenges is highlight the complexity of achievement sustainability in palm oil industry, but also underscore the importance of MSPO scheme in promoting responsible and also sustainable practice in the palm oil industries.
So Amirul, after hearing Faiza, she described some of the challenges that she faced. Is it something similar that you are facing in the RSPO program?
Yeah, I totally agree with Faiza in terms of challenges. Even though RSPO and MSPO, we have a different accreditation bodies, like MSPO with a standard Malaysia, and RSPO, as we know, is under ASI. But we also facing a very challenges accreditation process. There's a lot of compliance and witness assessment conducted by ASI to ensure that certain or all the certified or accreditation body CAB that conduct the RSPO audit is relevant and up to date to the requirement. Then, as we know, one of the challenges that we are facing also, we want to maintain our auditors, the competent auditors. It's quite hard to get the competent auditors, and then to maintain them in our audit team. These are two challenges that we are facing right now in 2024 for BSI Malaysia.
All right. So it seems like, every scheme has its own challenges, and this has been keeping your hands, both of you, quite full for 2024. Maybe if we try to look at some of the statistics from your side, Amirul. Let's talk like we are analyzing some Premier League games. So can you tell us a little bit about clients, transfers in that we get for the RSPO scheme?
Okay, I'll walk you through our achievement, challenges, and why we remain at the top of the RSPO certification table. Let's start with some highlights. As of 1st December 2024, BSI holds the largest portfolio of PNC certifications in the world. Yes, we are leading the league when it comes to RSPO certification, and numbers back it up. Over the past year, we achieved a 10% increase in new certifications and transferred across all sustainable palm oil certification. This will reflect not just the trust clients have in BSI, but also our ability to deliver result in a competitive market. But success isn't just about the new wins. It's also about retention or sustain of the client. This year, 22 units of certification, UOC, decided to stay with us for recertification. These are the long-standing clients who recognize the value we bring to their sustainability goals. This loyalty highlights that for many clients, BSI is more than certification body. We are a trusted partner in their journey, especially in shaping more sustainable future for them. Of course, like any other top team, we face challenges too. This year, 3 prominent unit of certification decided to discontinue with BSI. Let me break this down. First, withdrawal of RSPO membership. The situation outside is our control. Second, geopolitical sanction. Certain regions face restriction and we must navigate those carefully. And third one, client side streamlining. Some clients consolidate their certification with other bodies. Despite these challenges, we continue to perform strongly and maintain our leadership position. Now let's talk about RSPO importance to BSI. The RSPO program accounts for 36% of our total sustainability scheme revenue in the APAC region. This is clear indication of how integral RSPO is to our operations. Even with comments on pricing, we maintain a solid and meaningful base for RSPO program. This revenue contribution shows the strength and demand for our certification services.
Well, that is very impressive when we look into numbers. How about MSPO, Faiza? Same question as Amiro. How the world looks like in the MSPO statistically?
Yeah, absolutely. The MSPO scheme has indeed become the significant revenue stream for BSI Malaysia. And despite its local certification, it's important in promoting sustainability palm oil practices has garnered the substantial recognition and demand. This demand is not only support the sustainability goal of the palm oil industry, but also reinforce BSI Malaysia role in high standard and compliance to the certification. Okay, well, if we look at the number in the total certification issued by BSI Malaysia, currently we have 126 for all over Malaysia. For the breakdown is the active certificate for MSPO 3, we have 45 certificate we issue, and MSPO Part 4 for the meal, we have 44, and also for this SCCS, we have 36 clients and certificate we issued. The success of MSPO certification highlight the growing global emphasis on sustainability and responsibility sourcing, which benefit both of environment and also economic.
Right. Great input. So we kind of like understood the situation for RSPO and MSPO. I mean, usually when we talk about webinar, we often talk like all the super nerdy stuff, and maybe let's be bold this time around. And I want both of you to share some of the interesting stories that you get from the ground. So maybe we start with MSPO. Faiza, what would be the most interesting things that we found out this year? It can be a NC situation, interpretation, or anything we want to hear, like the really, really hot stuff. Tell us.
Well, as we know, we have so many clients that have been certified with RSPO and also MSPO together, and we managed to do the combined audit, and also we do some arrangement that means realignment for the certification validity. So how we did that? For example, I give you an example. Okay, there are certificate for example for MSPO, they are different year with the same month certified together with MSPO, and with this opportunity, because of the month is the same, so we can conduct and combine the audit together, even though the annual surveillance stages is different. between both of the certification. So we do realignment. So it will save. It's more efficiency in conducting and managing the certification for the client and also for the BSI perspective. And also the other scenario is when the year is different and the month is different for the same client. So what we do is we do the reset of the certification validity. So we start over to the stage 2 audit, so they can realign the audit and they can combine the audit at the same time.
So this is a cost saving measures as well for the companies?
Yeah, it's very cost saving, and we are practicing the low carbon emissions also, and time management is very crucial, even though for the client and also for the PSI aspect.
Wow, that's indeed a good story to share, Faiza. So, Amiro, how about the space of RSPO? What will be the good stories from the ground or interesting things that you pick up?
So for PSI Malaysia, for RSPO program, since January 2024 until today, there's a lot of interesting stories, interesting event happened to us in terms of ASI assessment, office assessment, in terms of audit itself, report preparation, technical review, sales, everything. But one particular things happen that I still remember till today is related to one of our client, a request to split out the certificate. Initially, the certificate is one certificate covered for 5 meal with various of supply base, but suddenly this year the management decided to split up. Each palm oil mill have their own certificate. So this is quite new for us because before this, we experienced that the request is to combine the meals into one certificate, but now they want to split up. So we have a various discussion from management, our CB, and program owner itself, which is RSPO, to align the interpretation so that we align with the requirement itself in terms of RSPO standard itself and the certification system itself. So there's a few discussion, and from this I learned that there's a few requirement. It is not simply that we can split out the certificate. There's a lot of factors joining in terms of we have to check their LUCA, check out their RACP, even though they are already certified, but we have to treat them as a new applicant, initial certification. So from initial certification, there's a lot of process that they need to go through. How about their previous NC that we raised during previous assessment? We can treat it like a new. We need to treat as a new. We need to follow up the NC during this assessment, or we just a reset because it's an initial certification. That what we need to discuss between the program scheme program owner, which is RSPO, we as a CB, and the client.
Right. I mean, I'm sure that will be very difficult for the team. How does the team actually handle during the on-site audit when splitting these meals?
So we are very fortunate at BSI, even though our team is big, but our understanding and our cooperation is good, which is the constant communication between auditors and office is there's a constant communication so that we at the management side, at the auditor side, don't have any loop that we can make a mistake during the audit, so that the audit will be successful, and then eventually the client will get a new certification.
All right. That is really interesting. Okay, maybe we already talked about 2024, some challenges, some wins, and some interesting story. But let's do some outlook for 2025. Amiro, with the things going on this year, would you tell us some of the things that will happen to the RSPO program in 2025. That is really interesting, Amiro, in terms of the stories of splitting those meals. Maybe we have heard from both of you in terms of 2024, how does it look like, how the challenges is. Now let's do some outlook for 2025. Amiro, with the things going on this year, tell me some of the things that will happen for the RSPO program next year.
So obviously, the challenges that certification bodies like us, BSI, will face in 2025 with the implementation of the new RSPO standard. As we know, the new RSPO standards were endorsed by RSPO during General Assembly. So we have a 12-month for the implementation. And then the transition to the new Prisma system, which is designed to enhance trade and compliance with global sustainability regulations. Certification bodies or BSI will need to ensure seamless data migration and participate in training sessions to become familiar with Prisma features. So another challenge is the adoption of the Universal Audit Report Template, UAR, for all audits conducted from 1st November 2024 onwards. We have to use this standardized template for RSPO PNC, ISA supply chain audits, ensuring consistency and accuracy in the audit. And the new standards emphasize human rights due diligence and environmental sustainability. DSI must conduct thorough audits to ensure that companies or our clients are identifying and addressing human rights impact and environmental sustainability issues, and rigorously verify compliance with enhanced standards. Then, supporting smallholder in meeting the new standards is crucial. As we know, we also certified the ISH in Malaysia. We need to provide guidance and support to smallholders to help them understand and comply with new requirements, ensuring they are not marginalized and can access certification and new markets. And the increased complexity and the scope of the new standard required us, BSI, to allocate adequate resources, including trained auditors, technical reviewers, certification decision to handle the increased workload. For this new standard, we are still waiting for the ETP, endorsed training provider by the RSPO Secretariat, as to ensure all our workforce attend the training related to the latest standard enforcement. Right. And another one is we definitely will see more transfer coming in 2025.
Probably same question to you, Faiza.
Alright, for MSPO, there's something big for the country will happen for next year, 2025. First is the MSPO transition, of course, from 2013 to 2022 version. Then global recognition of MSPO, stringent rule under law, EUDR implication. So it will be another exciting year for MSPO as well. So let me share you on the transition. Okay, for MSPO transition, the earlier plan, the transition plan was 1st August 2023 until 31st December 2024. But this is have the optional to the client and also for the CB to implement it. So they still have the option to continue the audit with the old version, 2013 version, until end of this year, and will start fully from January onwards for the new standards. And then the CB also have to perform audit with the scope that recognized by the DSM. We also have to go through all the accreditation process for the new standard. We're only allowed to do the audit on our scope that we received from and granted from the DSM. So there are 8 categories, okay, for the new standard, which is MSPO Part 2, there's 2. This is for smallholder that less than 40.46 hectarage, and MSPO Part 2-2. This is for organized smallholder, which is less than 40.46 hectarage. 3-1 is for oil palm plantation with the hectareage 40.46 up to 500 hectareage, and 3-2 is for oil palm plantation which is more than 500 hectareage. Okay, for part 4-1, is for palm oil mill. Part 4-2 is for palm oil processing facility, and also part 4-3 for dealers. And last but not least is other mandatory MSPO standard like biomass. Okay, so how our client want to do the transition process? So the step are, okay, first we do contact our client, which is the salesperson will contact our client to do the contract renewal for the transition, because you know the new standard document requires new mandate for each scope, which is there are increasing and some will be decreasing. So this one have to be renewed, and next step, the agreement is ready, and then the agreement and acceptance by the client and also BSI perspective, and then we conduct the audit, either recertification audit, surveillance audit. It will be continual from the previous cycle. So after that, the draft audit will be issued. After the draft audit will be issued, we send back to the client to review and get the signature, and then all this report we have to send to the peer review to do the revision, the review. This is mandatory requirement for the transition, not only for recertification of stage 2 audit. So even surveillance audit we have to send for peer review process. And after that, the report is final, and we go to the certification decision. After certification decision approved, and BSI will issue you the certificate for the new standard. This is how we do the transition for our client for the next new standards.
So this is what will be anticipated in 2025 when it comes to new clients conducting MSPO audits, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Something that I pick up from both of you is basically that both mentioned that EUDR kind of like sort of going to pivot the situation for the standards, both RSPO and MSPO. I mean, basically the EU has postponed the EUDR to December 2025 for large companies and June 2026 for smallholders. Indonesia and Malaysia basically has, as the top palm oil producers, has formed a joint task force to address the EUDR challenges. Of course, these are focusing on certification standards, traceability, and protecting the smallholder rights and their sovereignty. Maybe in your view, in terms of readiness of our clients or the industry in general, Faiza?
Okay, let me start. Okay, since we talk about EUDR, so do you know that recently MSPO has published a joint gap assessment of EUDR information need and information availability from the MSPO certification? So this finding highlight the strength of MSPO as a potential source of information relevant for placing oil product in EU market following the entry into application of the EUDR on 30th December 2025, while also providing guidance of adoption MSPO certification to help the EU operator with further information where the gap exists. While MSPO actually MSPO certification scheme was not designed for EUDR, but the requirement in the mandatory MSPO 2022 version, there's so many information that can be relevant to the EU operators conducting due diligence, check on the palm oil and palm oil product entering the EU market.
All right, thanks. Maybe Amiro?
Alright, for as we know, UDR or EU Regulation on Deforestation Free Products and RSPO both aim to promote sustainable practices in the palm oil industry, but they differ in their approaches and scopes. Right? As you mentioned, the implementation of EUDR will be delayed to until 30th December 2025 for large or major companies, while for small enterprise will be until 30th June 2026. So on the other hand, the RSPO is voluntary certification system that promotes sustainable palm oil production. It sets environmental and social criteria, including the protection of workers' rights and the reduction of greenhouse gas emission. The RSPO certification is verified through audits by accredited bodies. So let's compare between these two. First, let's compare with the scope and enforcement. The UDR is legally binding with a strict enforcement mechanism, while the RSPO is voluntary certification with standard developed through stakeholder consensus. Second, impact on smallholders. Right? So the UDR stringent requirement may pose significant challenges for smallholders, while RSPO supports smallholders with specific standards and capacity building initiative. And third one, sustainability goals. When we take a look at UDR focus primarily on preventing deforestation and ensuring legal compliance. But RSPO has broader sustainability goals, including environmental protection, social equity, and economic viability. There are synergies and challenges between the two. RSPO certification can help companies meet UDR requirements by providing a framework for sustainable practices. One of the primary in the UDR is about traceability. That's come the introduction of Prisma system into the picture of RSPO certification nowadays. Right? In conclusion, while UDR sets a high bar for sustainability and traceability, RSPO certification can serve as a valuable tool for compliance. Collaboration between regulatory framework and voluntary certification scheme can enhance the overall sustainability of the palm oil industry.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing some of the insights. Indeed, 2025 will be very interesting. Maybe I'll add up a little bit, kind of like question to both of you. What will be your hope for BSI Malaysia in 2025? Faiza.
So I hope BSI can support more in sustainability palm oil in Malaysia, especially in MSPO certification. So this is we have to uphold the value of the certification and our palm oil industry in a global acceptance. Of course, for the EUDR, the market entrance is very crucial to enhance the benefits of the palm oil and will be accepted all over the world.
Okay, thanks. Amiro, maybe for some of those who wants to explore a career in auditing, what would be your food for thought?
First of all, we have to equip our staff with good knowledge in terms of standard itself, legal requirement, stakeholder consultation, consensus, everything. This is the three major part that we need to equip ourselves before we go to audit. We also need, don't be shy to ask mentor from experienced auditors. Every single experienced auditors have their own skills or their own knowledge that they want to share with the new faces in the industries.
Thank you very much. So, thank you, Faiza. Thank you, Amiro, for joining us